Yo, man, what's good with y'all, man? This is Simply Day Day, and I'm back with another video. First and foremost, man, I hope all is well with y'all. All has been well with me. I've been blessed, y'all. Honestly, I've really been blessed. I just want to just let y'all. This video is gonna be about. Well, I'm gonna let y'all. Well, first I'm gonna give a brief story. So, y'all, this past weekend. For those who don't know, maybe I think I have mentioned this on this channel before, but I'm a dancer. I am a dancer, right? I've been dancing ever since 5 years old. I'm 23 years old now, so I've been dancing for quite some time now. That's just something that I love. That's something I definitely know God has given me. You know, He's given me that gift. You know, all glory goes to the Most High, man, for giving me such. And I always tell Him, I'm just grateful. You know, I could not have what I have, but He chose me to have it. So anyways, but yeah, so this past weekend, I had a performance in Detroit. And, prior to this performance, me and two other guys, we were working our butts off, because we really wanted this performance. We wanted this to be perfect. We wanted this to be, we wanted this to just be one for the books. We wanted, and of course, give God the glory, in the process, because this is not just dance. This is also a ministry that I'm in. And as we're like I said, practicing the songs and stuff, and all these type of things, we just want everything to go perfect. So I'm currently from Indy. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. The gig was in Detroit. It was in Detroit, Michigan. So sorry, I got a cough drop in my mouth. Excuse me. But anyways, so when we get there, we pack our bags and stuff like that, getting ready for this gig. We pack all our clothes and everything like that. Mind you, this is a weekend trip. So we're there in Detroit, Friday through Sunday. The performance was on Saturday. This past Saturday that just came up on November 26th. So once we get to Detroit, we start practicing stuff. We're practicing and practicing more. But we start running into issues. A lot of the stuff that we practiced on, in the current or in the songs, that was, mind you now, the tracks that we were dancing off of, these were live tracks that we were going to be dancing on during the day of the show. It wasn't a play track like on a CD or something. No, like this music was going to be live. And so you know how live music, a lot of times it has certain twists and certain things and stuff, for the artist that's performing. Sometimes it may throw a twist in there, or sometimes it may even cut out some stuff. Well, doing that performance, we had a lot of stuff that was cut out. And so since a lot of stuff was cut out, a lot of the stuff that we practiced on, we could not put it in the show because a lot of stuff was cut out in the tracks, in the live tracks. So I'm not gonna lie, y'all, it was very frustrating to me, because, I worked, I practiced, so hard, and we added some stuff, in our choreography to make stuff pop more, if you get what I'm saying. Because this was live, Not only was the music live, but this was live on camera. So in the middle of that, it was just, y'all, it was like, when I tell you, it was a change left and right, it was literally changes left and right. It was just and to me, in my mind, it almost kind of made me feel like I wish I never would have. I guess it was making me feel like I guess I never would have agreed to do the performance because I wanted this to be perfect, you know? I wanted this performance to be perfect. Everything that we practice our butts off, I wanted us to do it in the show, you know, because this is not just for me, this is for God too, you know? I wanted to give everything that I got, everything that we practice. I just wanted it to be perfect. Like I said, not just for me, not just for the people that's watching it, but for him, most definitely, you know? And because we had to cut so much stuff out, it was just very frustrating to me. But I had to remind myself, all those stuff was cut out and stuff like that. Number one, what does the Bible say? The Bible says, you know, because in my mind I was feeling like, you know, all our hard work was in vain. You know, it was almost as if it was in vain because, like I said, all the stuff that we practiced, it wasn't. It was just like a lot of since a lot of the all the stuff that we practiced was. It was almost like it was actually in vain because, like, again, since these were live tracks, they cut out a lot of the music. You know, a lot of the parts and stuff that we added new parts to, they cut that out. So because of all these changes, it was just like, man, like it was just like in my mind, just like, oh my goodness, like it was just so frustrating. I just wish I just never would have committed even into doing this performance because I didn't know I was gonna run into all these problems. You know, none of us did. I don't think. I know I didn't, but but I had to remind myself. You know, what does the Bible say? So the Bible says that your labor is not in vain. You know, what is labor? Labor means work or hard work. And so, you know, I had to remind myself, you know, after the changes that we went through during the first rehearsal, I was frustrated. But then that next day, I just had to remind myself that God's word, you know, your hard work, your labor is not in vain. It will not be in vain. All the time, all the practice that we put in, time that we put in, you know, doing, you know, the practice on these tracks, you know, for this performance, you know, although changes was made, our labor will not be in vain though. Why? Because it's for God. And either way, he's still gonna get the glory anyway. Number two, you know, I had to remind myself too, God is a God who, and it even says this in his word, God searches the heart. If it's in your heart, you know that you wanted to, and this, and it is, and it's not even just, this is not even just for this particular subject that I'm talking about, but if God searches your heart and knows that whatever that you're doing is for him, that's the only thing that matters to him. Only thing that matters to him is your heart. He sees your heart. You know, he knows what you're trying to do because of the heart that you have. You know, the Bible also says, you know, and that, you know, under the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak. You know, it can be the way you speak, but it can also be the way that you move. You know, based on your demeanor, based on your certain ways, it tells what kind of heart that you have. You know, so I just had to remind myself, you know, in the performance, once I kind of just let all that go, the performance went amazing, you know. Like, despite the changes, despite all the things, despite all the frustrations that we had, we still got it done and God still got the glory. You know? Now, don't get me wrong. Did we have a few little mishaps here and there? We did, but it was just like you wouldn't even have known because we were in good spirits though. We were in we were all still synced as one unit, you know. as one body, dancing for him. And when you do that, bro, nothing, nothing can get into the way of that. So I just want to encourage somebody today. If you've maybe went through an experience where you wanted something to be so perfect, but, changes came. You started contemplating, should I do this, should I not? Kind of like how I was, Like I said, like, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm still human too. Sometimes, like when stuff don't go perfect, stuff don't go my way. Sometimes, because I work so hard, especially for that. Sometimes when stuff don't go perfect or don't go your way, you start to contemplate, like, maybe I shouldn't do this. This is not the way I planned it. Sometimes when you do, that's why God says your ways are not my ways. Sometimes when you do stuff for God, it's not going to go perfect. It's not going to go the way that you probably intended it to go. But I encourage you to just keep going. Keep going. You feel me? Keep going. Your work is not in vain. Like I said, God doesn't care. God doesn't care how perfect it is. He cares about your heart. He cares about what you're doing, your actions as to what you're doing. It doesn't always have to be perfect and this and this and this and this and that. He just cares about your heart. You feel me? He cares about your heart. You feel me? So I just want to encourage, like, anybody that's watching this, keep going. Keep doing you. Don't throw in the towel when stuff gets hard or changes are made. Keep going. Be encouraged to keep going. Ricky Dillard, the artist Ricky Dillard, he actually has a song about that called Keep Going. If y'all want to check that out, it's on Spotify. That's crazy that I'm actually thinking of that song while I'm talking to y'all now. But I just encourage y'all, yes, to keep going. Like, so what if it's not perfect? Again, so what if it's not perfect? God doesn't, he's looking, see, us sometimes we get so caught up in the carnal mind that we don't see outside the box sometimes. See, that's what God, that's the type of God is. He sees outside the box. He sees outside this carnal mind and what we think of at times, kind of like how I did. I'm not God, but it's, you know, but I mean, it's normal. I mean, we all think carnal minded sometimes, but again, I just want to, just like I said, just encourage y'all, keep going. Anyways, y'all, if y'all got stuff from this video, I pray that y'all did, that's something that I just always got to keep in mind too. Like I said, if it's something that you're trying to work for, like I said, and if it's really hard, if you feel like throwing it in the towel, just like I said, number one, just know that your work, your hard labor, is not in vain, and then number two, if you feel like it's not perfect, if you feel like it's not the way that you wanted to, if you feel like it's not the way that you wanted it to go, understand, like I said, if it's for, and if you're doing it for God, if you want it to be perfect, understand, like I said, God only cares about your heart. He knows that you're not perfect, number one. So your actions and stuff may not always go according to how you want them to go, because you're not perfect. You are human. You feel me? And God knows that, So like I said, I just wanted to just, go into that, dive into that real quick. That's something that I kind of dealt with over the weekend. Just kind of thought I'd share it, for anybody else that's probably going through the same thing I'm going through currently, or just battling, or because sometimes when we get into those type of situations, maybe I shouldn't do this because it's probably not going to according to plan. We that's the perfect way for the enemy to come in and start manipulating your mind, because now you're feeling as if, you know, you shouldn't do this because stuff is not going according to plan, because stuff is not going perfect. You know, that's just another way for the enemy to throw you off your game. That's just another way for him to throw you off your game, because God, he sees the bigger picture. You know, sometimes when, and I'm gonna say this last thing and I'm gonna be done. See, sometimes, like I said, as for me, like, sometimes, like, when we don't want stuff to go according to plan and we start contemplating, maybe I shouldn't do this, the enemy likes that. Because, you know, if you were to, okay, yes, the enemy likes that because he doesn't want you to whatever, and especially if it's for God, he doesn't want you to, he likes for you to, you know, like when stuff is not going according to plan, or you start contemplating, or you start doing these type of things, because he knows that if you don't contemplate, if you still go along with your plan, even though it's probably not how you planned it to be, if you're doing something for the kingdom, he knows that it's a huge threat to his. That's the reason why he likes for you to, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe, you know, he likes for that. The whole time, when you actually do, you know, go according to your plan, even when stuff gets rough, God is smiling. You feel me? He's smiling. You are a soldier. God is smiling, bro. Because what the enemy tried to do, right, which would stop you, he couldn't get it done. Because why? You kept going. And that's my whole encouragement word to you tonight. Keep going. All right? I'll catch you on my next video, man. Simply Day Day, man, signing out.